Alright, what is up, guys? It's your boy FatherSuplex here, coming back at you with another video, and you see it in my face. I this pay-per-view was meh. I mean, also for some other reasons that I'll get into, but as overall, it wasn't that good. Alright, so we're just gonna call it how it is, right? I just was hopping into it because I'm pretty drained. It was a long show. Well, it wasn't as long. Like, it was 3.5 hours, which is actually pretty good. But it's still a long time. But yeah, let's just hop into it. First match, Becky Lynch. Oh, by the way, I didn't cover the kickoff. I didn't watch the kickoff. Uh, Nothing important really happened. No offense to my 205 fans, but nothing important happened if you ask me. So that being said, let's keep going. So in first match opener, probably one of the best matches of the night, maybe second best match of the night. Becky Lynch versus Natalia, Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch goes over here. Great match. Definitely had high energy. Few notes from the match, right? Natty, she looked really good here. She looked like really aggressive. She actually felt like a worthy challenger, which was good. They had some good spots here. They did a lot of, they used each other's moves. Becky did a sharpshooter, Natalia did a disarmer. Crowd loved it. It was great. One thing also was there was this one spot, right? Natalia had Becky in the sharpshooter, but like it was like in the ring post. It was weird the way it's not like it was like on the top rope, but like also like through the turn. But it's hard to describe it, but it looked pretty good, right? Yeah, so the match was really good. There was some really good spots, really high energy, high pace. At the end, Becky ended up reversing that sharpshooter into a disarmer, which is really cool. It was a nice touch, right? A lot of submissions everywhere. They were going around the ring. It looked pretty physical. Crowd was hot, of course, as an opener. So I really like the match. Probably the second best match of the night. But after this, it starts to it starts to. That's where it hits that mediocre stage, right? But yeah, if one match exceeded expectations, it was Becky Lynch versus Natalia. Alright, and so moving on, we got Goldberg versus Ziggler. I did film a reaction to that. Make sure you go check that out. I'm gonna keep it quick with this because I recorded the reaction. It was what you expected. The entrances were a lot longer than the match. That's for sure. The match only went 2 minutes. Complete squash. But the match started off. Ziggler hit a couple super kicks, right? He went for 3. He hit the first 2. When he went for the third, Goldberg hit him with a spear. After that, it was over. Hit the jackhammer. 1, 2, 3. Which is, as expected. I like that they did give us, like, the near fall. Because, you always want to be, like, on the edge of your seat. But yeah, quick squash. Nothing out of the ordinary. I still don't know why I don't even know why Goldberg has screen time, honestly. But I don't even know why he's going over guys either. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It didn't waste my time, at least. Well, it did waste my time, actually, because after the match, Dolph Ziggler, he's like, "Oh, Goldberg, you got lucky. You can't finish the job. You're a fluke." And I'm like, "All right." The first time it was okay. All right, sure. Then Dolph Ziggler does the same thing again. He's like, "You're a fluke. You can only get lucky once." Goldberg comes back, hits him with another. Dolph's like, "You can only get lucky twice." Then the third time, it's just like the third time you're like, dude, I don't want to see this on my screen anywhere. Like, get it off my TV, If you want to get JD with it, JD from NY, shout out to him. But yeah, you just at that point you're like tired of it. It's just like, really, So with that, that was the end of it. But I feel like that was way too much time. I like if as soon as the squash was done, that was it. That was it. Nobody cared. Get that off. But yeah, moving on. We had Ricochet versus AJ Styles. Another good match as expected. It was what you expected. It didn't really overwhelm, but it didn't underwhelm. It's like it's not mediocre, but it was like above mediocre, but like nothing like out of the ordinary. So I'm gonna go through the spots here. I got some notes here. the match started off really hot, right? Ricochet was going on his streak. At one point, he threw out AJ Styles out of the ring. Then Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows try to get involved. He dodges them, right? And the way it's set up, Carl Anderson goes to like clotheslines Ricochet's legs, but Ricochet jumps over. So now you have Carl Anderson right here. Then behind him, right? I do it this way, right? Carl Anderson right here. Then you got Luke Gallows, and then all the way back here, like I'm AJ Styles, right? So Ricochet, he comes on, he steps on Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, and then does a Hurricane Rana on AJ Styles, which was really creative, really innovative. So I really like that spot. And then moving on later on to the match, you see, it was an awesome finish, but before that, there was another good spot I like with AJ reversing. I don't even remember what move Ricochet did, but the way AJ Styles transitioned into a calf crusher, I really thought that was amazing. Just because the whole match, right? AJ was working on Ricochet's leg, so it made perfect sense. Great in-ring psychology. But yeah, so we'll get to the finish, which is the best part of the match. Ricochet climbs up to the top, and he's gonna do like a Phoenix Splash senton almost, the way it was set up, right? Or like a Phoenix Hurricane Rana, just the way it was set up. It was amazing, like all the flips, right? But then AJ Styles, he reverses that into a Styles Clash. So as Ricochet's flipping off of the top rope, AJ Styles catches him into the Styles Clash. 1, 2, 3. That was the match. Great finish. I think that happened with Ibushi, if I'm not mistaken. But it did look familiar. So, but yeah, he had something similar with Ibushi. I know that. But yeah, it was a great spot. Great way to end the match. If I had to rate the match, I thought it was good. Yeah, it wasn't too out of the ordinary. But next we got Ember Moon versus Bayley, SmackDown Women's Title. This match probably underwhelmed the most, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say that because the crowd was dead. Crowd was so dead, and the match started slow too. They were doing rest holds, whatever, basic, just the basic moves, right? Plus, going into this match, Ember Moon wasn't really built up that well, if you ask me, right? She had that one moment where she was standing over Bayley and Charlotte. After that, it was like, meh, So, at that point, like, when you don't believe in the challenger, it's hard to get a good match, get a good reaction. But, it started off really slow. Then it started to pick up at a little bit, just a little bit, at a certain point. Ember had this nice sequence of moves. She hit a super kick, and she hit a Hurricane Rana off of the middle rope. And then she had some sort of weird code breaker. It was like a pump handle code breaker. I don't know. But it was great. In terms of the move, not the match. The moves were great. A little sequence, right? And after that, it just started to die down. I don't know. They botched somewhere, it looked like. Like, it looks like Bayley was going for a Hurricane Rana, and then they failed. Like, it failed midway, so Ember had to adjust to a power bomb. But you could tell they were going for a Hurricane Rana. It didn't look too clean there. And then after that, they just went straight to the finish. Bayley hit a Bayley to belly suplex off of the top rope. It just came out of nowhere, but like not the right type of out of nowhere, It was so abrupt, anticlimactic. Definitely this is a match everyone was clamoring for, and it completely underdelivered, if you ask me. I mean, you did have to follow Ricochet versus AJ Styles, but still, it underdelivered. Moving on, we got Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Alright match. You're not gonna get a great match out of Shane McMahon, honestly, unless you're doing some crazy spots, and this is not a no DQ match, so that's not happening. So I knew that off of the bat. Elias was picked to be special guest enforcer, which really brought my expectations for the match down, because like there's so much outside distractions. Like in wrestling, the outside distraction is the most overbooked thing ever. It's so annoying, man. I can't, like, I'm tired of seeing it. So, with that being said, that really brought like just the mood for the match down. Like my mood for the match, it just completely went down. But a couple good things. I did notice. Kevin Owens, he did get a good reaction, so that shows he's doing something great, right? He's being built up, right? At least. But the match itself wasn't. Shane can't wrestle. Oh, no offense, but Shane can't wrestle, man. He's only good for those like crazy spots, if you ask me. So, yeah, there's nothing like crazy from the match. I did know that notice what one thing that did stand out was KO hit the swanton, and then after that he went back up to the other side of the ring and hit a frog splash, which is pretty cool. But besides that, nothing too. Oh, actually, now I remember one other thing. He did the same spot that Adam Cole did last night for Takeover. He did the chair distraction to the low blow, which I really thought was cool because the connection between Kevin Owens and Adam Cole. So I really like that. And with that, that's how he won the match. Hit him with the stunner, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Hopefully this rivalry is done. Like I'm tired of Shane, man. I'm just tired of him, man. But yeah, that was it. I mean, that's the whole thing of the show. It's just like, all right, whatever, Finally, it's either finally or like, eh. Next match we had Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. Just like to sum up this match, it was like I think this was Trish's last match, and if it is, it was what a great way to go out. I think this is another match that sort of exceeded expectations. I say sort of because it started off hot, right? But like it really midway it died down. Like it died down, man. The crowd was dead. They were dead. They were silent. You could hear one person there like, I'm satisfied right now. Like you could hear like different conversations in the crowd. That's how quiet it was. But yeah, it did start off hot, right? Trish was hitting a Hurricane Rana, some good athletic moves, but just to set off the bat, set the tone that she's not like past her prime or whatever, which I like. After that, it started to slow down. Crowd died. A lot of Charlotte just talking and working over Trish, and nobody was having any of that. It wasn't entertaining, to say the least. But it did start to pick back up. Eventually, Trish hit a top rope Hurricane Rana, which is a great spot. And I think that was a spot Sasha and Charlotte tried to do 3 years ago, but it sort of botched a little bit. But they pulled it off to perfection here, so shout out to them. After that, they went into this figure 8 spot where Trish Stratus did the figure 8, which is really great. Like it just showed like she's not past her prime. Like she was actually athletic. Like she can work. She can go. Right? She's not. A lot of old timers, they come back and they look like a step behind. She was step for step with Charlotte here, so I like that. And they did get "This is awesome" chants. Like the crowd was chanting "This is awesome." So this is one of the better matches of the night. Probably one of the top 3 matches of the night, top 4. But yeah. After that, Trish hit Charlotte with a Stratisfaction, but Charlotte kicked out with a nice near fall spot. Then Charlotte hits Trish with or doesn't hit Trish, but she gets Trish into the figure 8. Trish taps out. That was the match. Great match. If it is, like I said before, if it is Trish's last match, what a way to go out. I'd still want to see Trish versus Sasha, but this was not bad as well, Definitely what a way to go out. She did have a post-match celebration, so I think that is like that pretty much signified it is her last match. But next, after that we had Kofi versus Randy Orton. Yeah, you saw my reaction to that match. Completely underwhelmed. Completely. I was so hyped. Like the story was so good, but the thing about Randy Orton matches, they're so slow. He's so slow. They're like molasses, and you gotta wait for them to pick up. So, as a typical Randy Orton match, it did pick up, right? But then when it started to pick up, that's where they want to give him the DQ finish or the count out or whatever it was. The faulty, it was crappy. It was terrible. I was like, everyone was hyped for this match. This is the most anticipated match of the on the card by far. and then you had to mess it up with the DQ. Come on, like it is. I was so disappointed with this match. Some good spots, Kofi doing his trust fall thing. A lot of Orion doing the back suplex onto the tables. The cross body reverse into RKO, etc., etc. Good storytelling spots. Kofi calling Orion stupid, all that jazz. But man, the way the GQ happened, Orion was staring or talking to Kofi's wife and kids, and Kofi went off, and then the bell just rang. It's like, what's going on? I didn't like it. Definitely left a bad taste in my mouth. The rivalry is definitely gonna continue. The feud is definitely gonna continue, but could have done something else. Should have done something else to continue it. That's like lazy, if you ask me. You had all this time. You knew this match was. Come on. You knew this match was happening 3 weeks ago. I don't want to hear, or at least 2 weeks ago. But even that, crappy way to end. I think. Oh no, 2 more matches. So we had The Fiend versus Finn Balor. Best match. Well, not best match. Low key best match of the night. But I mean, like. All right, so I'll get into the match. Right, The Fiend. Great entrance. This first off, great entrance. Right, he had a great look. They had the whole the Tron. It was like let him in, and then all the lights, all of the stuff, like all the extra stuff that goes into it. The presentation just looked really good. He had a lantern with like Bray Wyatt. Well, it is Bray Wyatt's face. So he had like his own face on a lantern. His face was the lantern. It was crazy. It was like the Headless Horseman. It was it was absolutely crazy looking. It looked so like monster like, so crazy. I'm losing crazy a lot here, but yeah. And after that, we had there was more to the entrance too. The theme song, whatever, it was like a remix of Bray Wyatt's old theme song. It was like punk rock. It was really good. It was also like a girl singing it, like a little doll. It was great stuff. Just great presentation coming down to the ring. Finn Balor came down like all white and whatever, so that also showed the disparity, darkness, light, all that jazz. But great match if you ask me. Well, not great match, but like just great use of booking, I should say. My opinion, the match was booked superb. Like the booking was absolutely great, which sometimes you don't see from the E that much, if you ask me. But yeah, it was great. It was booked, nicely booked. Quick squash. Finn Balor's getting off after this. He's going on hiatus, a little sabbatical. Bray Wyatt getting the push he deserves, while also getting some revenge. What is it like when you? I don't know the term, but like you like, what is it? Get rid of your demons or whatever, something like that, right? He's getting all that done, right? With that being said, we move on to the main event, and this is where that story comes, where why there's no reaction to that main event. So my network cut off midway through, right? Rollins hit a frog splash through the table, and then after that, the network just cut off. I was pissed. I didn't even finish the reaction after that. I was like, dude, what's going on? So I couldn't see the rest of the match. By the time I got back on the network, Rollins had the Universal title in the hand. The music was playing. I was like, oh, Lord. So I saw the highlights, right? He hit another frog splash. Went for a curb stomp or something. Reversed to an F5, but he reversed it into a super kick. Yada, yada. Curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. I can't even critique the match, for real. But from what I did see, it was pretty good. Definitely exceeded expectations. Crowd is hot for it, at least for the first part. Definitely... Brock Lesnar, Mr. SummerSlam at this point. What is it? The last 7? The last 7 SummerSlams. 6 or 7. The last 6 or 7 SummerSlams, Brock Lesnar has been main eventing. I'm almost positive. I don't know. Oh, no, except 2013. Except 2013. It's always 2013. But Brock Lesnar has had like the most SummerSlam main events in history at this point, even in 2002, right? So that being said, that was SummerSlam. Rollins and Lesnar was great. I'd say Becky and Natty was great. I don't want to say Trish and Charlotte was great, but it was very good. I'd say it was very good. Ricochet and AJ was good, and after that, the matches were just meh. It wasn't that. Nothing. There wasn't too much. I tell you to go watch. I wouldn't recommend too much on this card. But you got what you expected, which wasn't too much. Some matches did exceed expectations, others did not. But yeah. That being said, thank you guys for watching. It's been your FMOI here. So you check out the rest of SummerSlam vids. I'm gonna edit this and head to bed because I'm tired. But yeah. That being said, make sure you hit that like button with the German suplex. Make sure you hit that sub with the belly to belly. And with that being said, we out.